So let's hit that stream marker and open the Blender stuff. Nothing much left over here. Day 12 made a giraffe last time. Giraffe. Tall beast. How this works, I almost forgot. I ran 2 previous stream sessions without zoom tools. I need to open this thing. So last lesson in the course. So it is I'm using the b3d101.org 2.8 manual, undetermined content. Well, actually it says it's manual, but it's Blender 2.8 tutorials for beginners, like user interface. I say this always, because it was a really nice find on the internet to find the text version with some real short videos, way better than the official stuff for beginner level tutorials materials. So you can follow the text, learn from there. There are 2 sections: beginners, like user interface, basic movement around, find your way around user interface, placing arrangement of the objects and manipulating objects in 3D view, and then further in, like using the actual app for creativity. And now I'm at low poly well. What I'll do here, I'll pop the root of the tutorial to the next tab and squeeze this in like this, like I always do. Pull this over here, make sure that the page height fits the screen. It doesn't need to be this tall. I use Windows the magnifier, zoom in so you can see in the video all the details, not like those other fancy tutorials when you don't see anything if you shrink the video, and you need a magnifier to follow the tutorial. And I take time, since I'm also learning and I'm not skilled. I have now, I'm quite comfortable now at day 13, so I went through the basic stuff. I know shortcuts, the most important ones. Sometimes I do some warm-up, but for the first section, first half hour to 40 minutes, I usually keep the segments in the stream that long, in that time range. It depends if I encounter some troubles following the tutorial. Well, maybe just to have a small chat before continuing with the actual lessons, maybe a few words about the how's my journey so far. Well, most challenging was to compile the useful set of learning materials to plot the efficient or standard workflow, how to use, for example, Blender, similar with Godot. There are everywhere on the internet you'll first encounter like create this, do this, make this. But you can go through those tutorials and still stay at the first with the same question. So, well, how do I do this? How do I do something on my own? Well, there are 2 ingredients: your own creativity, imagination, three ingredients: imagination, creativity, patience are actually going through exercises. Develop habit having an exercise. Take a video tutorial, whatever, for each whatever tool you want to master, and consider putting in each tutorial something of your own and revisiting. Ignore the frustrations, come back to it later. Don't overstrain thinking, oh, I'll do it today. No, you'll do it. It takes a year to get really comfortable and start being creative. It takes a year to not master, but train your brain to be able to kind of first learn the conventions, the terminology, so you can read more abstract, higher level topics, methods, practices. So let me see, before I get through this, let me see what I need to verify. At this last lesson and previous few lessons, there was some things that were not clear in the text, so I had to scan through the video. Oh, this video is quite long. Is this the whole lesson in a single video? Some lessons have two short videos. So here are two. Is there a third one? Might be. No. Oh, there's even a third one. Looks quite large because it has many elements. What I'm most interested in is texturing and creating more sophisticated materials and rendering like more realistic and environments, models, whatever, textured models. As I do this live, I avoid using other people's videos. I can adjust that to fit my screen, but it's hard to make that kind of video, the resulting video that I create that way, hard to publish, trim down. It's like a appropriation of somebody else's work, somebody else's tutorial, and watching somebody else struggling, as I actually need, like as everybody needs while watching video tutorials, to listen to a minute or less, 10 seconds, and then rewind and pause, then try to redo, memorize the steps. In a written text format, you just have the page here, read, stop wherever you've got you position the page content very wet, and keep reading, and just switch left and right. With video, I'm not sure. When it gets to one point video, you need to rewind back, and that's kind of it's not practical to follow, like just in comparison with versus text. Just doesn't work the same way. I broke my tongue and ruined my reputation as a, I don't know, poor host, show host, because I tried to express terms in a too complex way, boring to those that know the content, that are familiar with the matter, subject, and completely incomprehensible for those who are actually trying to learn. But if I put that aside and focus on the going through the steps, like following the course. It's helpful, useful for anybody who wants to go along on their own way, but kind of like to have some encouragement and sense of conversation with somebody who's having similar struggle. I was hoping to actually, and my aim is in a way, in an aspect, to create content that would be closer to the audience that is not familiar with the subject. I don't need to create more content for those that are in the know. I'm more curious on working on the side, on the front, like demystifying, bringing closer concept abstractions that are not clear to those who are struggling to get on board. Like I'm trying to build a on-ramp. Well, this would be then the intro segment for day 13. So I'll hit the stream mark. It should take a short break, 20 minutes, like efficient intro, show opening and intro. That's how that's what I've standardized so far, how I formatted my content.